Hi there, and welcome to this episode of the Dr. Todd Show. Today my guest is Dr. Annette Schippel.
Hi.
She's a chiropractic physician, and she practices at Schippel Chiropractic, which is located in both Springfield, Illinois, and primarily in Jacksonville, Illinois. We're going to talk about some standard process supplements in the next two videos, including this one. Today we're going to focus on a standard process line called MediHerb, and there's supplement called Echinacea Premium. And just to give you a little background for the viewers, Dr. Annette actually traveled to China this past summer for a functional medicine symposium. And of course the Chinese are big into herbs. And she's also this summer went to the MediHerb headquarters in Brisbane, Australia.
Yes.
So,
Very exciting.
and she has been a speaker or a lecturer for the Standard Process company
About 2008.
since 2008. So please welcome Dr. Annette to the show. So
Thank you.
you're welcome, Dr. Annette. First, I'm going to ask you about, there are all kinds of Echinacea products out there on the market. I recommend Echinacea Premium for my patients at Austin Family Chiropractic in Virgin, Illinois.
Right.
I know you recommend Echinacea Premium. So can you tell our viewers, why would someone want to get Echinacea Premium from MediHerb Standard Process versus just any of the, let's say, Echinacea products you can find at Walmart?
Okay. No, that's actually a really great question because there's so many misconceptions about echinacea in general. And when you're getting into, well, any supplements, but certainly when you get into herbal therapy, quality makes all the difference. Because what you're dealing with is with the herbs, there's certain properties that makes that particular herb effective, that gives us the response that we're looking for. And with echinacea, what we're looking for is what's called alkylamines. And when it's processed properly and the alkylamines are retained, and there's two different types of echinacea, augustifolia and purpura, that contain the alkylamines, okay? When you process it properly, you retain those alkylamines, and there's a minimum dose of about 8 milligrams of alkylamines that gives us the therapeutic benefits of the echinacea. Now, what's really interesting is that there have been independent studies done from Echinacea Premium comparing cost and effectiveness to other brands. I can't tell you which brands, but they what's really interesting, there's another brand out there on the market. The one that comes the closest to the same dose of our Echinacea Premium takes 6 tablets.
Oh wow.
And it takes as many as 50 to 130 tablets of other brands to equal just one.
Oh,
just one Echinacea Premium.
Oh wow.
And the reality is, to get the therapeutic dose of Echinacea Premium only takes 2 tablets a day.
Wow.
So with the herbs, gosh, the quality matters so much. It matters so much, and I think if people really understood that, they would think very differently about what you and I do. Because what unfortunately happens is that they go and say, oh, I heard something about echinacea, so I went to whatever retail chain, picked up some echinacea, and then said, oh, well, this didn't work.
Yeah, I get
Well,
that a lot.
of course
too.
it didn't work because it doesn't have the active ingredients.
Exactly.
The quality is not there. The work is not put into it. And actually, MediHerb not only brings the echinacea into Australia, so they're looking for something that meets their standards, meets the quality, passes all the testing, and then they do all the processing there, because it has to be processed in a particular way to retain those alkylamines. And theirs are even guaranteed with the testing that they've done, that even if you had an expiration date, which is usually quite long, even at the time of expiration, it still has that amount of alkylamines that's listed on their label.
Wow.
And some of the products they tested didn't even test to their label.
Oh.
I know.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Their label
quality
standards.
control is very important, and
Yeah.
a lot of the companies just don't give you that.
Yeah, and the thing I think that's interesting is that I don't expect my patient to know how to read a label.
True.
It's that most of them don't know how to read it, but But if they listen to us, and then they can understand, then it really can make such a huge difference for them.
Exactly, and that's what I've found as well. So, next question, Dr. Annette, is why is the herb Echinacea so powerful for the immune system?
This is the really interesting part about it, because it is very misunderstood. A lot of people think of Echinacea as an immune stimulator. Like, oh, it stimulates the immune system, and therefore you can only use it short term.
Okay, because I've heard it called an immune booster.
Immune booster, immune stimulator, both would be wrong.
Okay.
Okay. The reality is that Echinacea is an immune modulator. Now, there's a big difference here, because what that means, when something modulates, it means that if the immune system is being overactive, it tamps it down. But if the immune system's not engaged enough, it's going to improve the immune response. What a lot of the great research that's been done recently on Echinacea has actually shown it works better when you take it long term, when you stay on it, don't go off of it. And that doesn't mean you're never going to get sick, but then if you're faced with an immune challenge, all you do is temporarily increase that dose to give that extra support into the immune system, and you find that you actually get over whatever it is that you're dealing with much more quickly.
Exactly.
And just to add a little bit more to that, and when they do further research, they're seeing the effect that it has not just on the immune system, but on actually the health of the cell, improving mitochondrial cells, improving heat shock proteins. It's naturally anti-inflammatory. It's very healing for the gut. So many benefits that are not even recognized.
So that's really tapping into another market that's big right now, which is the quote-unquote anti-aging.
Absolutely.
Market.
If you think about it really from a standpoint, can you really be in a state of anti-aging or good health with a weak immune system?
Yeah,
Not really.
Hard,
Not really.
Yeah.
If you were sick all the time and getting really run down, what's that say about your overall vitality? I think is a good way to put
Pretty
it.
much says your immune system.
Yeah.
So.
Kind of going down,
Okay.
right?
And then the last question I have for you, Dr. Annette, about Echinacea Premium is how is it used best?
Okay, I kind of cheated, I admit, kind of already, gave you a little bit of hint into that, but it really is about using it daily.
Okay.
Using it daily, and then when you're under increased stress, you don't have to wait till you get sick, but if you're under increased stress, such as with travel, or maybe everybody around you is kind of getting sick, or you feel like you just need to have that extra boost, that's a time to increase it.
Okay.
And so I think the really important part to understand is that you want to take it every day.
Sure.
There's no risk with taking it every day, and then if you are feeling a little compromised, then you just actually increase your dose. And I also want to point out, this is also very safe for children. This is not an herb that is only okay for an adult. I've used this in my practice with really, really, really small little ones, including my own children, for years. So it's an incredibly safe herb, but it really does. Quality makes all the difference. And in the studies that they've done, and they've done 2 comparison studies over the last 10 years, no other company remotely comes close to the Echinacea Premium. It's worth every penny.
Wow.
Every penny.
And I know my 12-year-old likes it because she said it makes her tongue tingle, and none of the other ones do.
Right. Okay.
She's like, Dad, I want this one. It makes my tongue tingle.
That's
Where's
such,
the Echinacea
that's
Premium?
such a great point, because that tingling, that tongue tingling, that's the alkalinamides.
Ah.
That is how you know you have a good quality Echinacea. So if you're getting Echinacea for someone else from somewhere else, if it's a tablet stuck on it, if you get no tongue tingling effect, probably very little to no alkalinamides, and the same with the liquid.
Okay,
It's pretty amazing.
All right, well, thank you for the information, Dr. Annette. That was
You're welcome.
fantastic, and thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.